Hi, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Katie Egan, and I am the CEO and co-founder of CourseArc. And thank you so much for being here with us today. I know that these are pretty scary and unsettling times, and I really appreciate your willingness to give CourseArc some time in your busy schedules. Our hope today is that we can support you. So whether or not you're here in the process of rapidly expanding online offerings or just beginning the process of going online, we hope that we can help you deliver high quality instruction, whether that's to your students or your employees. Before I begin, I just want to do a couple of housekeeping things. I do have both Stacy Murphy and Jennifer Miller on with me today. They are both going to be moderating the chat, and there's a Q&A, a question and answer feature. So feel free to use those throughout the demo if there's something that you have a question about. If the answer applies to everyone, they will share it with everyone. And if there is something that comes up that warrants me stopping and addressing it live, they will definitely interrupt me as well. So feel free to use those tools and say hello. We are recording the session. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right. Okay. There are three different aspects to using CourseArc that we're going to be looking at today. The first is content management. Our tool allows organizations to control the design and the development process. The second is content authoring. Our tool allows anyone to very easily create high quality content that's engaging and accessible. And the third is we allow you to deliver your content. You can embed your content directly into the LMS using LTI, which is going to provide a much better experience for students and instructors. I wanted to start by giving you this framework because our demo is going to follow the same flow. So we are going to start by looking at grading setup and properties that will really speak to content management. Second, we're going to look at how to create scored activities by creating content in CourseArc, and we're going to be specifically looking at using a quiz block. And then lastly, we're going to look at how the delivery looks like, what the CourseArc delivery looks like inside the LMS. So we're going to be sharing with you the student and the instructor experience. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Give me 1 second. I'm going to swap out the screens that I'm sharing. All right, Stacy, Jennifer, can you guys just give me a verbal that this looks okay?
That does. We're seeing your dashboard.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just stop my video for this portion so you guys can see the full screen. All right, so we're going to begin the live demonstration now. I am logged into CourseArc as Pepper Potts. She's an instructional designer. When she logs in, she's going to see the dashboard. This is the view you see here. At the top of the screen is going to be the menu bar. She can access the dashboard wherever she is in CourseArc by clicking on this link. She also has quick access to her courses. And over here on the right, she can click on the help link, and that will launch the CourseArc knowledge base. And that's a good tip if you're new to CourseArc, just to leave that open in a new window so you can access it whenever you need it. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. For the purpose today, we're going to be in a course, a fake course that we set up. So Pepper is a course leader in this webinars course, and that means that she has the ability to edit the course settings. And she can do that by clicking edit in the manage course view, which is what you see here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to click edit. And she wants to use grading in this course. She does want to track student participation in progress. And so Pepper has gone ahead and set up the cumulative option for grading, as you see here. In addition to that, she wants to give her students points for completing each page of content. So she has gone ahead and put 5 points in the points value per page field. Before I move on, I just want to quickly identify the difference. We're talking about the difference between these three options here, and I'm not going to go in order. Sorry about that. So no grading here down at the bottom means nothing is scored, nothing is tracked. So I just wanted to mention that. So no tracking, no scoring happens. Participation means that students' progress is tracked and they will be receiving a score based on completion. And then the option cumulative, which is the one that Pepper wants to use, student progress is tracked and they receive a score based on progress and performance. The key difference between participation and cumulative, I think, can be explained with an example. So imagine that you have created a quiz that is worth 100 points. If a student is taking a course for participation, they take that quiz and they get an 80%. They are going to get 100 points for that quiz. They're going to get 100% because, again, it's based on completion. It's not based on their performance, and they completed the quiz. Whereas in a cumulative grading scenario, they would receive 80% or 80 points for that quiz because they are being graded on performance. That's the key difference. I just wanted to use that example. All right, I also want to note, I think this is obvious, but I just want to be clear. If you choose cumulative or participation, either one of those, that is going to enable the grades to pass back from course art content to your LMS gradebook. So just to make sure, if you want that grade pass back, you will not have that ability if you turn off the grading, if you choose no grading. Additionally, if Pepper is brand new to CourseArc and really isn't sure what the difference is, she can always hover her mouse over the little eye, the information icon. It's going to give her a little description, and it's also going to take her directly to a knowledge base article specifically on grades. So these little eye icons are great for new users. Okay, so I'm going to switch gears now. I'm still in the same course. I am going, now that you understand how the grades are set up, I'm going to actually go into a module to talk a little bit more in depth about grading. So again, just to reiterate, this is the flow that we're going to go through today. We're going to talk about grading setup, which I just did, talking about scoring and points. We're going to create an activity that has points, and then I'm going to show you the instructor and the student view. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the overview page. The overview page here the overview page is a default page that is going to be automatically created in every single module in CourseArc. And this is a great tool for you to use. The overview page is going to show you how many points are available in each lesson. So you can see the right-hand column, you're going to see the point total. And what's great about this is you can use this total to make sure that your point total matches what's in the grade book. All right, the overview page is going to be dynamically updated. And so I just want to show you what I mean by that. I'm going to go back one level. I was doing a little bit of practice earlier. So let's say I want to delete something. I go ahead and delete it. I'm going to go back and click on the overview page. You can see that it automatically has removed that practice page from the overview page. It also will automatically update estimated time and points. So that is dynamic. It's a great tool to help you and your students stay organized with grading. Okay, now I'm going to switch gears again. I'm going to move forward and I'm going to talk about the quiz block. There are a lot of different blocks and activities in CourseArc that can be scored. We are going to talk today about the quiz block. This block can be used for both formative or summative assessments, and you can have as few or as many questions as you want. There's a lot of different settings that we're going to show you in just a minute, different question types, and this is just a sample quiz with a couple of different question types here in this page. So I'm going to go ahead and go into edit mode to show you what the quiz block looks behind the scenes, or under the hood, as we say. So I'm going to click edit this page, and that is going to toggle me into edit mode. I'm going to scroll down to the quiz. I'm going to hover my mouse over the quiz, and I am going to click edit. So what this is doing is this is showing me the quiz form. This is what you fill out to create a quiz. In this example that I'm showing you here, a quiz has already been created. You can see at the top, we have some quiz settings. On the left side, there's different questions. And then, as I mentioned earlier, there are 8 different question types that you can choose from. So this is what a quiz looks like after it has been developed. What I want to do today, though, is I want to show you how you would create a quiz. So I'm going to move forward to a new page. Call that 4. And we're going to do this from scratch. So I'm going to go ahead and click edit this page, just like I did before. You'll notice there's nothing on this page. I'm starting with a blank slate. So I need to start by adding a block. It's very easy to do that. I'm going to hover my mouse over add to content. I'm going to click add block, and I can scroll, or I'm just going to quickly search for the quiz block. I'm going to click this quiz block. Now, what I'm going to do here is I am going to stay silent, and I am going to fill this out. And as I'm filling it out, what Stacy's going to do is she's going to be my voiceover during this particular section. So I'm going to actually mute my microphone for a minute.
And while Katie's getting started, a couple things to point out here. So the settings for most blocks are going to be at the top if there are settings for you to adjust. And here you can choose, would you like this item to be graded? Would you like to show feedback to students? And there's lots of feedback you can customize. And then you can choose, would you allow students to retry the quiz, or do you want them just to take it one time? You do have the option to always give them a reset and try again at some point as well. And then the randomized questions option you can see up there as well. You can choose, just be careful if you're going to randomize your questions, you don't want to put question numbers in your questions because then those numbers will get mixed up. And also if you're using a prompt question. But Katie's filling in a matching question, so she chose that over at the top. And once she saves this question, you'll see it's going to populate over on the left-hand side in the question area. So now you can see her first question with a matching. And now the second question here, she's doing a multiple choice. So she chose that at the top. She's putting in point values for each question, and those values can be different per question. And then you can see she's actually copying and pasting in some of this information. So if you have those quizzes built somewhere else or even in a Word doc, you can paste in, or you can just type it manually. Here you also can see each multiple choice answer here has an option for specific feedback. So you can utilize this as a learning opportunity for your students, not just as an option for them to show you what they know or to see what they know, but they can get feedback on each specific answer they choose. And you can customize that for them here. Every question has the opportunity for you to put in feedback, and you can make it the same or different depending on your needs. And always make sure you choose the correct answer. We have some things built in here too that you will get a prompt that says, wait, choose your correct answer before you can save your question. So look for those pop-ups if something happens. And there's also a place for you to put a hint in. So if you'd like your students to know something or you think that might be needed for them, you can put in a hint that they can click on as they're taking the assessment. And Katie just published her edits. And now you can see what these two questions look like. And you can see that hint button there as well.
Okay, thanks, Stacy. It's hard for me to type and talk at the same time. So Stacy's going to be my voiceover today. Okay, so I hope I hope what you glean from this is it's really easy to create a quiz. I, of course, didn't answer the first one, but what I want to do now is what you've seen here is, again, we talked about the course management view, how to use the settings and what the points, how to set up points. Then we talked about actually creating the content. So now the last part of the demo, I want to switch gears and I want to show you what it's going to look like from the student and the instructor perspective. So what I'm going to do, one second. So I'm going to show you how it appears to the learner. I am now logged into Moodle. I'm logged in as Susan. And again, just to reiterate, even though I'm showing you this in Moodle and the content is embedded directly in here, it's going to function in the same manner and look very similar regardless of your LMS. And this is done using LTI. So, it's going to work in Canvas and Blackboard and all of the LMSs that you're most likely familiar with. Susan has a few different ways that she can see her progress, scores, and feedback. And this is going to help her take responsibility for her learning. and track her own learning process. So first, I just want to click on grades over here. You can see the one that I'm about to show you, she currently has a 19%. So she's about 20% done. And I just want you to keep that number, keep that number in your head, okay, 19%. So I'm going back to the view where I was. I'm gonna close that just to make the screen a little bit bigger. And before, you saw the overview page, and that really was from the design perspective. And now what you can do is you can see what the overview page looks like from the learner's perspective. This is really beneficial because Susan can see which pages she has completed and where she should try items again to complete, or to either complete or try to increase her score. In the left navigation over here, Susan can also see which pages she has viewed with the filled in circles. And lastly, Susan can scroll to the bottom of any page and see how much of the module she has completed, as well as her current score. She can also click on more information on any of the page to see the same table from the overview page. And sometimes there might be more information here for her. I'm going to go ahead and click on the assess page, and I am going to take this quiz again while Stacy does a little voiceover.
So as Susan's taking this quiz, she could be using both her keyboard or her mouse. So everything here is keyboard accessible. And she can think through and select and make some different choices. And there's a submit button at the bottom. So until she's really sure of her answers, she can change things as she's going along. On the second question, you'll notice there is a hint button. So she can click on that hint button to read about some information as she's working on this quiz. And when she is ready to hit submit, after she's filled in everything, she's going to get that instant feedback as long as the instructor or the designer chose to put in some feedback. So you can see color coding here, things that are incorrect are red, things that are correct are green, and there's feedback for her. So she can learn from this experience, and sometimes she'll have the opportunity to take it again. And sometimes, it might be that she only had one try. So she's got a couple different options there depending on what you choose to give to the student. As she moves on to the next page, her score at the bottom, which is now 17.5, is going to update based on her new score. And you can see it jumped up to 27.5. So she earned 10 points on that quiz. So everything is instant, and it's going to instantly push the items back to the grade book as well.
Thanks, Stacy. That was great. So the last part of the demo, what I want to do, just let me know if you guys if you can't see the screen, is I want to, I'm going to actually zoom in a little bit so you guys can see this a little bit larger. I wanted to show you the perspective from the instructor. So I'm logged into the same exact course, but now I am logged in with an instructor role. It's going to be pretty similar to the student in terms of how it looks. But there are going to be some key differences. So as an instructor, you can see that now I have a couple of buttons at the top that the student did not have. I'm going to go ahead and click on student progress and performance. And this is going to be a dashboard where I can see information at a glance for my entire class all at once. I can also click on more information to see details for any student. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Bill. Here I can see specific activity scores, and I have the ability to override scores or reset them. I can reset an activity if I want to give a student another try. I can also click on any page title to jump to that page to see the student's responses on that page. So I'm going to go ahead and click on active learning. All right, so you can see now that I am viewing Bill's responses to this page, so I can see exactly how he responded. I can use the left navigation to check out another page. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Assess. And what I can do here is I can use the student selector, which again is only available to instructors. I'm going to check out and see how Jeff did. So I can see how Jeff scored. And then I also can see how Susan did. This is the quiz that I just took as Susan. So this is really great for instructors. It's going to give them a really granular view. All right, so lastly, I just wanted to show you that as we demonstrated in the student view, in the instructor view, if you click on grades, this is the one I'm in right here, you can see that these scores are going to automatically come into the grade book. So Susan right now, she was at 19, whatever, it was close to 20%. Now she's up to 30% completed. So those scores are going to automatically go into the grade book, and they'll automatically be updated as the student continues to progress through the lesson. So again, make it really easy for the students and the instructors to keep track of their progress and their performance.